Welcome back, gang. So officially we have completed the friendship system that we set out to do, the friendship with the API. This last episode, I just wanted to address some things regarding Nuxt. Okay, so one thing that I wanted to do was when we log out from this app, I want us to be able to head back to the landing page, this page right here. Okay. So what we're going to do is, if we head back to the text editor and we open up client Nuxt JS, and then we can add a new redirect in here. So the redirect we're going to add is logout. And this is just going to be pointing to that home page. Okay, so that's the first thing I want to do. Now that we've set that, we can go back and try to log out. So let's go to the dashboard page, okay, and then let's click log out. And then now we have been sent back to the home page and we're logged out. The next thing I want to do is tackle some middleware. So let's head back to the text editor. And what we're going to do is, Nuxt already comes with a auth middleware. Okay, it's already built into the whole Nuxt package. What we're going to do is we're going to create a new middleware, and we're going to call this one guest.js. Okay, now in this middleware, basically what's going to happen is guests can only go to certain pages and authorized users can go to certain pages. So we don't want the auth user, if they're authenticated, we don't want them to ever be able to get to this page. When they log out, they're more than welcome to, but this is one that we don't want them to get to. And we also don't want them to go to the register page or the login page. We just want to reserve that for people who do not have accounts just yet. Okay, so that's what we're going to be setting up here. Now, come back to guest.js, and then we're going to have an export default. And we're going to have parentheses, curly brackets. Okay, then, no. We're going to have app, because this is our Nuxt app, our Nuxt and our Vue.js. This is our entire app. And we're going to also attach the redirect to that. Okay. So now we're going to say that equals curly braces, and then it's going to say if app auth dot logged in, because remember we're getting that from our state. Okay, so if the user is logged in, then return redirect, and then we're going to send them back to the dashboard. So if they're logged in and they try to hit any one of those other routes, they'll just automatically be sent back to the dashboard. Okay, so let's go ahead and start implementing this. If we go to, let's see where we can put it on first. Okay, so we'll put this on index. Okay, so what we want to do here is now add middleware guest, and that's all we need to do. Now if we go ahead, log in, and then try to hit this guest page, so let's just go back to it. Okay, we're not logged in, so we can see this page, but let's go ahead and try to log in with one of our users. So test@test.com, password. Okay, so now we're logged in. Now let's try to hit that route. Just get rid of this, enter. Okay, cool. As you can see, it sent us right back to the dashboard page. Okay, so now let's put this middleware on some other ones. So copy. We're going to add this one to our auth pages. So we'll do it to register first. Where is it? we can come up here and put it here. So paste, comma, slide that over, and then also our login pages. Okay, so export default page. Okay, so let's try to hit those routes as an authenticated user. Okay, so now we can go to auth login. Okay, now we're redirected back to the dashboard page, and let's try auth register. Enter. Okay, again, we're sent back to the dashboard page. So now, the middleware that Nuxt already comes with is auth middleware. So that's just for authenticated users. So if we go to one of these pages, let's try the dashboard. Okay, and we put that middleware in here. So it'll be just like this, the same way, except now we're calling the new one. And in here, we're going to put auth. Okay, so since we're authenticated, we weren't sent anywhere, we're still on the dashboard page. Let's go ahead and log out. Okay, so now we're sent back to the main page. And let's try to click auth. No, sorry, it's dashboard. Okay, now since we're not authenticated, this is going to send us back to our login page, because that's where we're supposed to be. And that's set in our Nuxt config. That's what we did when we set this up. Let's go ahead back to the other pages and finish setting those up too. So we did dashboard, right? Middleware auth. Let me just copy this one. So copy. And the other pages we need to hide from guests are the index page, the user's index page, comma, the user's ID page, paste, comma, the friends page, okay, head down, comma, and I think that's all the other pages that we have. Yeah, it's a small app, so that's all we have. So let's go back to the browser and make sure that we can't hit those pages. Okay, so we already tried dashboard, so let's try users. Okay, sent back to auth login, and then we'll just try one more because we already know it works. We just want to make sure that we set them everywhere. So friends. Okay, cool. We were sent back to the login page as usual. Okay, now the next thing I want to do, and this will be the last thing that we cover. So Nuxt JS works with vue-meta. It's already installed, and this is one of the really cool things about it. It helps us. We'll go back to the main landing page. Okay. What vue-meta does is it allows us to insert things like the title name and give the page, you know, just really customize what we put in the back end to be displayed. So it's good for Google search. It's really, really good for SEO purposes. So if we were to go back to the landing page and we open up view page source so that we can see everything that's in there. Okay, we are already getting a lot of information, like all the CSS that makes up the pages, but the most important thing is up here in the header tags. Okay, the first thing that we have here is client. This client, okay, this client is coming in from, oh, it started to refresh. This client is this title right here. That's what this title is. Okay, and then you see we have some other meta fields in here. So description. So basically we can customize this for SEO purposes and have every page have whatever we want to put on it that we want to get picked up by Google or whatever search engine. Okay, so how we do that is we go back to the text editor we go all the way up to the top, and this head is all that information that you see. So we can customize it. Now, since this is in the main Nuxt config, everything in here is global, okay? And it tells you right there, global page headers, okay? So other things you can also change are like the favicon and just, you know, add whatever meta information you want to add. But what we want to do here is we just want to change the title. Okay, so we'll just name this now the actual name that we're using on the front end of our app. So that's Friendzy. Okay, that's going to go ahead and compile. And just so you know, anytime something happens like this in this Nuxt config, if it doesn't work the first time, then just go ahead and try to restart your Nuxt server. So go back to the page, we'll refresh, and now mine took a while. I had to refresh the server. So now you can see up top here it's Friendzy, and if you look at the, I restarted this as well, refreshed it, it's also Friendzy in the title. Okay, now the other cool thing is if we wanted to add this to another page, so let's say the register page, okay, just as an example. Now this, if you're using something like we are where most of the pages are for authenticated users, then I wouldn't use this on pages that are exposed to the front end. Or exposed to just authenticated users, just because you don't want to chance anyone being able to see any of the information that's in there. So we're going to try this on the register page. Okay, this should be okay to do here. It's about preference. So if you want to see something like this on your register page, then go ahead. So we'll slide this over, slide that over. And now we need to change the title of the page. So here, we can actually just call it register. Okay, we don't need this HTML, and this meta, we can get rid of this, and we can keep the HID, the description, and the content, and just put registration page, just so that we have something different to see. And then we can get rid of this link because we don't need it. Okay, so that should be finished. Let's head back to the browser. Okay, let's try to go to the register page. Okay, and now you see that register has replaced the title. Something you can do too, which I find myself, I like doing in these meta tags, is putting, instead of the just leaving the title the way it is, we can create another field called title template, and then have let's say Friendzy, which is the name of our app, pipe %s, comma, and what this is going to do is it's going to inject this title and put it in here. Okay, so let's give that a try. Go back to the, oh, gonna have to wait for that to refresh. Okay, it should be good now. We'll go back. Okay, and you see it still says Friendzy register, and then here it also still says Friendzy register. Okay, one more thing. If we go back to the text editor, now if you absolutely feel like you want to have titles on every single page, there's a way to make it more global, to use the same process but to make it more global. So if we copy this from here and we head back to the Nuxt config, okay, if we put in here this, okay, and instead of this Friendzy up here, we put process.env.npm underscore package name, 2 pipes, and open quotes. Okay, so what this is going to do is it's going to inject whatever our pages are, it's going to inject this whole thing. We can actually take this out. Okay, it's going to inject the title of our pages right in here. So title is either going to be our package name or empty, and the template that it's going to use is going to be Friendzy and then whatever is in there. So if we come back to the register page now, we can just actually we can just add it here. So it'll be we can put the pipe in here and a space. Okay, and then get rid of this altogether. And let's try putting this on another page too. So copy. Okay, we can end up doing this for every page, but I'm going to use login as an example. So if we come in here and let's say this is one of the pages we don't want a whole bunch of stuff on. So paste. Okay, you can now just leave this empty. Okay, and then here, registration page, we'll just say login page. Doesn't really matter because there's nothing, it doesn't have to say anything else. Okay, so now that's compiled. Let's go back to the, this should be done in a second. Okay, so now you can see register is still there. I refreshed this already, register is still there. And if we go to login, because we turned off the title for login, now it just says Friendzy. And if we were to inspect that one, or that's the wrong one, if we go and view the page source, then we only have Friendzy as a title. Okay, fantastic. So the very last thing I want to do, can close that. Very last thing I want to do is I want to get rid of that little loader that pops up at the bottom. It's nice initially, but you don't want this on your front end. It's not professional. So if you went to production, you definitely wouldn't want that. And just in case, you want to make sure to disable it. So under head, actually, we can just go ahead and put loading false. Okay, we'll let that compile. And as that's doing that, we'll head over to the front end so we can keep eye on the progress. Okay, and now you can see it's refreshing. And we've managed to get rid of our loader. And actually, before I cut out, I wanted to mention that this title, this process.env that we're passing in up here, it actually comes from our package.json. This client, this name right here is what's being pushed into there. Okay, so be careful how you, or just be aware of how you set up your project names, because then you can use it on the front end like this and it wouldn't be lowercase, it'd be how you want it. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to make sure to post all this code up to GitHub. I really hope that you guys like this series, and if you did, just please go ahead and leave a like. I would really appreciate it. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop them down below and I'll make sure to get to them as soon as I can. Okay, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.